So knowing is not enough in business, okay? It's about velocity, it's about executing. Hey, what's going on, guys? Jeff Koga here, and I'm going to be using more of this page to document, I guess, a lot of the stuff I'm doing. So let's talk about something called velocity is greater than meditation, right? So we had our meeting with our CFO yesterday, and the numbers for February I already kind of knew. The reason being is if you run a business, you should know your numbers, right? So now, not to say that we weren't profitable, okay? So yes, we were. It was a profitable month, but the certain charts have a downtrend charts, okay, on what's going on, and knowing that internally, that really pisses me off, right? But also at the same time, emotion needs to change, right? Because it takes me out of state. So basically, the CFO is actually asking me, he says, "Hey Jeff, what are you doing?" You know, right? That's really what he's asking me, like, "Hey, what am I doing?" And I'm betting on currently something right now, which is live streaming. And because of setting this up, because of learning some other skill sets that I need to learn, it has taken my focus off some other stuff, all right? And then the other thing is this, is that I've been focused on doing transactional real estate as well. And with all means, have I made a lot of money in transactional real estate? Yeah, I have. Okay. The most monies I ever made was doing transactional real estate, like investing in real estate, until I started understanding about internet marketing and about running a online business as well. And then now it's kind of, it's really interesting. It has a lot higher upside in terms of scalability, but I want to document this for anyone else that's out there in the internet space, and maybe even for myself later on, that I can look back on this. And the crazy part of all of this, right, is before that meeting that I had with the bean counters in my company, right, or CFO, is that I had a conversation with a good friend of mine. His name is Trevor, and I've known him for years now. And we talk about business, and we just happened to talk on Wednesday, and we were talking about possibly JVing and doing business together, but it ended up going the other direction, right? With most things that happens typically with the people I talk to, and we started talking about delegation. We started talking about unique abilities. We started talking about scalability. We started talking about how to actually build a business that's just not encompassed by just you. And for me, it was really impactful because he suggested some things, and we kind of have a very close Kobe score. It's basically your unique ability or your unique strength, and that's where we're currently at. And he suggested to pick up a book and read. The book is called Rocket Fuel, right? And it's more of a validation, which I already know, but I'm not doing, right? So knowing is not enough in business, okay? It's about velocity, it's about executing, and that's why velocity is greater than meditation, right? Because like knowing is like up here, the real estate between your left and right here, and I know that is that certain people in my organization, like certain VAs and certain people, are in the wrong part on the bus. They're on the bus, we're on this journey together, and they're not sitting in the right place, and that's one of the reasons why I get pissed off, and really to a point where I want to like cuss them out. And Tony Robbins says this, for if he doesn't say it, then I guess he's saying it now, is that you have to be in a state of gratitude or a state of being angry or something like that. So I had to, like, when I woke up in the middle of the night, I had to like boom, snap myself out and get back into like the state of gratitude, okay? But the crazy part is that for me is just, I don't know if anyone else goes through this, is I get fired up more on being pissed off than being in a state of gratitude. I don't know what it is. I get more stuff done. And I think it all has to do with, again, the strength that I have, right? Like I perform better in chaos than anything else, So, which boils and comes back to, again, knowing your unique abilities about your strengths, right? Because they talk about that, my personality type and my Kobe score type type is that I will self-sabotage things so I can get into a space of chaos, so that way I can feel alive and get back to work, right? Which is one, a strength, but also at the same time, which is it's a problem, right? Because you need stability in an organization, and I create chaos. I'm my own person to create a lot of tons of chaos of doing all kinds of stuff. And within that chaos, yes, there is innovation. Yes, new things come up. Yes, that's how we move forward. But also at the same time, the people around me suddenly feel that Jeff is just a crazy mofo and it's not good. So if you're running a business, you're trying to get to the next level, or maybe you're just trying to start. It's not all roses in the world of entrepreneurship. And anyone that I know, my friends who have, quote unquote, in the eyes of society, that think that they made it right, they've gone through some man. People look at you kind of funny. They look at you kind of like you're weird, because you start talking about stuff that is like way over their head, And then she talked about how we went to a conference out in Palm Springs years ago. I guess we were at a conference, and then this is where at this time she worked at for Orange County Department of Education, right? So, and she said that I met someone. She was talking about how she wanted to get her name out more, right? So, if you're at this conference and you wanted to get your name out, I think I said something like, yeah, well, you should run some Facebook ads and run it in this vicinity and just, hey, run it, and then you can actually have people come to your booth or something like that. And I think I told her that, and the lady looked at me like I think I was crazy or something like that. But then genuinely you were just saying that to help them out, but I think they took it the wrong way. And then that's what you run into a lot of times if you're in the space of entrepreneurship, and the people that are not business and or more of that spirit of curiosity, right? And you hear me say this a lot, is that you can be ignorant or you can live in the world of curiosity. And sometimes the more book educated you get in terms of the education system of school, I think your brain gets calloused on creativity, because you're taught to actually think a certain way, and it's a challenge, and to break those habits, it doesn't happen overnight. I think that's what people forget, that hey, breaking habits takes a lot longer than quote unquote the 21 days or something like. The prime example is like the smoking thing, right? So I stopped smoking on February 1st, right? So going into March 10th, so it's cool, right? I'm taking care of my health, right? But keep in mind, I've been smoking literally almost 10 years, right? About a pack to a pack and a half a day, right? And the cool part, and I'll end with this, is have friends that are, one, they don't have a professional bias. All right. When I say professional bias, meaning that your decision, it directly impacts their bottom line, and their bottom line is not directly tied into your goal. Right? So if that professional is quote unquote bias or whatever, that there are suggestions that they're giving you, and they have an incentive to actually sway you in one direction, then just know, okay, is that it may not be the right decision. So be aware of that, and have friends or a board of directors or people you can turn to outside of the scope of what you can do to get feedback, to get information, especially outside of your industry. I think that's a huge thing. It's cool if they were in it at one time and maybe they're out of it now for whatever reason, right? But that's not directly tied in, and you get a lot better feedback than people just saying, hey, oh yeah, that's a good idea, And going back to, again, is that if you talk to people that are not in the space of business, entrepreneurship, maybe academia world, you ask them about a problem, right? They ain't gonna be able to help you out. They're gonna be like, well, yeah. So, if you want that, then with all means, talk to them and you'll get validation, right? And if you need that, right? But in my case, my DNA is I don't need validation. I need someone to be like, Jeff, it's a good idea, but not now. Let's put this in the bucket of, hey, let's do that later on bucket, So, and those things you have to be aware of. So, that's all I got for y'all. And our show is going to be launching, the Jeff Koga Show. That's what it's going to be called. And we're working on the little details on that. But literally, I'm going all in on live streaming. And I think it's the renaissance like YouTube went into years ago. And quality, I think, is going to be number one, as well as content is obviously key. But we're in a renaissance, and I'm betting all in on that for the longevity of my personal brand as well as the thing that I'm doing in the business world. And it was a battle this past month to trying to think, okay, am I taking my eye off the thing? But the more I think about it, yeah. You got to bet if you know what you're doing is 100% right, you got to go with it, you know? So that's all I got for y'all. This is Jeff Koga. I'm signing out, and I will stream some more stuff later on. And I love you guys. Take care, and bye-bye.